Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today's episode is all about this wonderful ingredient, asparagus. Bang in season, and I've got two cracking recipes for you. Okay, so first recipe, we're going to kick off with a carbonara. So I'm actually going to take out the pancetta or the guanciale if you're doing it really authentic, and we're going to put asparagus in. So it's inspired by a carbonara, but it is not a carbonara. Okay, Emily's wanting bacon, so sorry, not today. Right, a little bit of coffee. Let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the pasta. All right. So it needs 9 minutes in salted boiling water, okay? And I'm going to make this for two people today, so about 180 grams of dried pasta, okay? Pop it in the pan and let it do its thing. Now, asparagus, Mother Nature has a really good way of telling you where it's tender and where you should cut it, and all you have to do is that. That's the lovely tender bit that takes a couple of minutes to cook. This is for soup, all right? So just that bit can go to one side because all we want are the tips today. There we go. Do you want a close-up somewhere?
I'll do it overhead.
Okay. There we go. Ooh. So that is our asparagus. That's going to go in with the pasta in a little bit, but not yet, okay? So put it to one side. That bit's done. Let me show you how to make the carbonara sauce. Now, whether you're doing it with bacon, Emily's favourite, or whether you're doing it with asparagus, I'll teach you how to make that wonderful sauce. So we're going to separate our eggs, and I'm interested in the yolk. Even my daughter thinks I make a good carbonara, so I'm going to take that. There aren't many things my daughter thinks I do well.
What could you use the white for?
I totally use them freeze them for meringues. You can actually do an egg white omelette if you're like super healthy. Personally, I think there sounds nothing more revolting than an egg white omelette, really. You could whisk them up and make like a meringue roulade cake. That's quite nice. Freeze them and make chocolate, a little bit of cream. Whip up the egg whites, fold it all in, bang it in the fridge. Nice chocolate mousse. Okay, we've got 2 egg yolks in here. And then I'm going to grate some Parmesan into here. So kind of Parmesan in 2 halves. First half in the egg yolks to make the sauce. Second half in the pasta dish. You like a carbonara? Yeah, I know you like a bacon carbonara, don't you?
Yeah, I think for me it has to be.
And do you do it properly or do you add cream?
I do not.
Good girl.
I had one with cream in before and it isn't.
No. We've done proper carbonara on the show before.
Yes.
It's all good. Right, okay, so we've got our egg yolks and we've got our Parmesan cheese. Just give that a nice little mix. I'm going to add in a little bit of black pepper in there.
What happens is this kind of like the safest way to do it? Like, reduces splitting?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't heat it up too much, it won't split. Really, once the pasta's cooked, and this really doesn't need much cooking because the residual heat, the pasta and everything will do it for you. So there isn't a lot of cooking involved.
Yeah.
But if you're cooking it, then it is going to go wrong. But follow my tips for this and you'll be absolutely fine. So, garlic. You don't normally have garlic in carbonara, but I quite like it. I like a bit of garlic in there to get the whole thing going. So I'm just going to slice it, chop it, and then we're ready to go. So as I said to you, please, Italians, please don't get upset with me. This is inspired by carbonara. This is not a carbonara, even though I've called it one. Okay, so olive oil just warming up and then straight in with our garlic. You don't want the pan screaming hot, okay? Otherwise the garlic will burn. So just let it start to warm up gently. There we go, that's what I was looking for. You can see it's just starting to come out, and then as soon as that's sizzling, you can smell the garlic now. Smells good. And then in with some butter, and that will stop, because we've got oil in there, it'll stop, it won't burn, which is good, the butter. And then just, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just sort of swilling the butter and the oil together to get it all going. Now, what I'm going to do, our pasta's been in for a few minutes now, and it means that there's some starch in this water. So I'm just going to steal it and let it cool down a little bit. Because what you don't want to do is put hot, starchy water straight in your egg yolks. It'll just cook them and you'll end up with some weird sort of scrambled egginess, and it won't be good. Okay? It will not be good. So, little sprinkle of pepper in there. Smells good, that, doesn't it? Butter, olive oil, and garlic. I mean, come on. Okay. I'm going to take my asparagus and I'm going to drop it in the pan with the spaghetti. And it'll just sit on top and just cook for a couple of minutes. That's it. Everything's all nice and calm, yeah? There's no frantic, like, you know, we're just taking it in our stride. All right?
So I'll be panicking at this point.
I'm going to add a little squeeze of lemon juice into my butter. Not all of it. This is not supposed to be lemony. We're just trying to get that nice balance. Butter, lemon, olive oil, garlic, pepper. They're just best friends. They are all going to love to be in that pan together. Okay? Right. Our water has cooled down a little bit. I'm going to add this to my egg yolks. It's not totally cool, but it's cooled down enough for what I want it to do. So quickly mix it all together. Okay? So that starch from the pasta has seeped out into the water, and now this is the magic. This is how we make a sauce. Okay? Without cream, but it is creamy. Okay? Nice. Right, my asparagus is cooked enough for me. I'm going to lift that out. Don't overcook it. It still wants to be nice and vibrant and green, okay? Right, I'm now turning the heat off this, okay? And my pasta is going in. Let that water drip into it, yeah? Then we're going to add our egg yolks and parmesan into there. And then we just stir that together. Okay? I'm just going to grab the rest of the pasta. But do you see how it's it's thickened, yeah? Look how creamy that is. You see that? It's like there's cream added to it. And the heat has thickened the egg yolks. And the cheese has melted in there. See how I didn't use a colander? And now I'm mixing and mixing and mixing. I mean, that's just going to be... I'm going to taste that, make sure it's delicious. Okay? So let's just take a strand. There we go. Really nice. Little bit of salt in there. And there we go. Ready for our asparagus. And we are ready to serve. Is that quick? Yeah? So let's just take some of our pasta. I like to make it look all fancy and nice like that. Then we take our asparagus, pop it on the top. You can stir it in if you're at home. It doesn't matter at all. But you've got that wonderful creamy parmesan, butter, eggs, garlic. Absolutely delicious. Lovely combination of flavours. Finish with that extra bit of parmesan that we talked about. There we go. And a little drizzle of olive oil. makes it nice and silky when you eat it. And there you go. That is how to make an alternative carbonara using asparagus. And we're going to tuck into this and give it a try. And you watch how I make the most delicious chicken breasts with a hazelnut pesto and fresh asparagus. Time to cook my chicken with hazelnut pesto and British asparagus. First thing you need to do, drizzle some rapeseed oil onto a plate and then season it with fresh thyme, a little bit of salt and pepper, and it's ready to go. Crush some garlic, chop it nice and roughly, doesn't matter. Chuck it in the oil with the seasoning. Now in with your skinless and boneless chicken breasts, turn them over so that all the flavor gets on, and then pop them into a nice hot pan. Cook them on one side until they're golden and crisp with garlic and thyme for extra flavor. And if you're really cheeky, add a bit of butter in there as well. Now it's time for the asparagus. Snap them and then just chuck them in the pan, add a splash of water, add a splash of white wine, and that's it. Pop them into the oven and let them finish cooking for 5 minutes. Make the pesto, crush some garlic and some hazelnuts into a pestle and mortar. Add in some fresh tarragon and some parsley, a little bit of fresh thyme as well. Grate some parmesan in there and some glugs of extra virgin rapeseed oil. Squeeze a lemon juice and pound that to a pesto. This sauce will go so well with the chicken and the asparagus. Still going. So if you want any of today's recipes, please make sure you sign up for the newsletter on our website, petersidwell.com. Go there and we'll send you the recipes every week to your inbox, okay? It's the easiest way for us to share all our recipes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.